Hey everybody, it's Emily from ARC Schooling, and today I'm going to do my January wrap-up. So I had a decent reading month, not fantastic, but I read I read 5 books in January, so let's get started and I'll show you what I read. So first up, I read The Magician King by Lev Grossman. This is the second book in the Magician's trilogy. And I read the first one last year and kind of liked it. I didn't love it. I was intrigued, so I got the rest of the series for Christmas. And I read The Magician King, and I actually really liked this book. I like this so much more than the first one. I don't know if it was just the right time to read it. Maybe if I had started the series now, I would have liked it better. I don't know. But yeah, I really enjoyed it quite a lot. I liked Julia's story. It went in places I did not expect it to go, and it was kind of, I don't know. But I really like her as a character, and I still found myself highly annoyed with Quentin. I really don't like him. I don't know why. I cannot get used to his character. He's just really obnoxiously self-centered and annoying, and I found myself being very pleased at where he ended up by the end of the book. But yeah, I really like this, and I am going to definitely be picking up the last book in the series, The Magician Land. I think Magician's Land. Is that what it's called? I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to read that next because I really want to know what happens. Okay, next up, this is a book I read aloud with my kids, Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. I'd read it before, so this is my third time reading it, and I actually really enjoyed this as a read aloud. I liked the discussion we had with my kids, my boys being the boys that they are. We're like, oh, well, a world without books, that's awesome. But, you know, I'm like, hey, keep reading. So by the time we got to the end of the story, they're like, yeah, okay, I can see the negative there. And yeah, we really enjoyed this as a read aloud. But yeah, as a read aloud, it's actually flowed really well, and it was a great discussion piece to have with my teens. I think I would recommend that. If you've never read it before, this is a dystopian book about a man who is a firefighter, and in this future, firefighters don't put out fires, they start them because they burn books, which are illegal. And one day he questions it, and that's the spiral that the story goes into, is him figuring out why this is a thing. And it's also highly plausible. All these dystopian books, I mean, not all of them, some of them are completely ridiculous, but this is plausible. And like Feed, and actually my daughter listened in and she read Feed and she saw the connections, which is why I kind of wanted her to listen in. But yeah, this kind of future could potentially happen at some point. Next up, I read this for the Tween Book Club that I run, and it is I Am Malala. This is the young readers version. I have the original, but I wanted to see if the young readers version would work for the book club, and I actually think this is a really good version for tweens to read because it's much more readable, but it isn't dumbed down. I was worried that it would kind of be a dumbed down version, which I really don't like when people abridge books. It almost never works. But this worked nicely, and it's a really great story, and I love her. Malala is so amazing. Yeah, she's just amazing, and I almost can't believe she's real. Like, she's just so great. And so yeah, this was a really good book, all about her experience and living in Pakistan. And I love reading books about different cultures that are so different from mine, and I find it completely and utterly fascinating. And yeah, read this. She's amazing. Next up, I read a book on my Kindle this month. I read You by Caroline Kepnes, and I didn't like it. I didn't. This is what I would call an overhyped book. I heard nothing but great things about it all over BookTube and on Goodreads. It got so many 5-star ratings. I'm like, I have to read this book. It sounds amazing. But no, it wasn't. It wasn't amazing at all. I mean, the premise was intriguing. I'll give it that. I was interested in reading about a stalker from the stalker's point of view. I thought that was a great idea. It was awesome. And I liked that it made me consider how much I put on social media, because I see people all the time who post like everything they do. Like, I went to the bathroom, I went to McDonald's, I'm at this place, I'm at that place, and it's like, why do we need to know all that? But yeah, so I read this expecting greatness, and I got mediocre at best. I don't know, it just didn't go where I thought it was going to go, and Joe, as the narrator, really bugged me. He was very, like, I'm better than everyone, and and some of the stuff that he does just was so not plausible. Like, how is he getting away with this stuff? It doesn't make any sense. I could not suspend my disbelief. I just couldn't. And you know, no redeeming characters. None. I didn't like anybody. I didn't like Joe. I didn't like Beck. They're all jerks and awful people. And I've read books with unlikable characters before. I've read The Great Gatsby, didn't like any of them either. But the book itself was good enough that I kind of got over that and appreciated the story for how good the story was. The story was not enough to overcome the terrible characters. It just wasn't. And yeah, I don't know. I must be the oddball out. It always happens to me. Every time a book is overhyped, it happened with The Fault in Our Stars. I heard nothing but amazing things about it, and I read it and was just like, I don't know. I miss it. I don't get it. I'm a weirdo. I'll take that, I guess. Finally, this month, I read Bill Bryson's A Short History of Nearly Everything. This book is awesome. I loved it so much. And, here's the thing. When I was in school, I freaking hated science. I hated it. It was boring. It was dumb. Why do I need to know this stuff? It doesn't affect me in my life, whatever, blah. And I didn't like it, and I didn't get it. And you know what? I've been reading more science as an adult and like falling in love with it than I ever did in school. I've read the Story of Science series by Joy Hakim that I'm going through with my boys right now, and that is just fascinating. Like, so much stuff that I missed that I didn't know about because it wasn't in the textbooks. And then this book here, just why is he not writing all of the textbooks? Just saying. Imagine how much more innovative our children would be in the future if this is what they were learning from. This is a really well-written book. He makes it understandable. He makes the science interesting. He made me want to go do more research and find out more. This is what children should be reading in school, because otherwise we're just wasting their time. You're not going to get scientists out of boring, blah textbooks written by committees of people. But you will intrigue them with a book like this. And yeah, on its own, this isn't really a text. You got to get more information on certain topics, but he makes you want to. He makes me want to know more. And I found myself Googling things and looking for more books like this because it's just so good. So yeah, if you haven't read this, read it. I promise you will not regret it. This is so readable. Yeah. It's really good. You should read this. Highly recommend it. So that is what I read in January. I can't believe the month is over. Where did it go? It went too fast. I have more things to do in January and I didn't get to them, so I'm going to have to squeeze them into February. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Happy reading. Bye!